Alright guys, welcome back to Hyrule Warriors. Last time we met in Hyrule Warriors, we began Linkle's Tale, and I actually spent a little bit on the menu here because for some reason, I don't remember which mission comes first for the timeline split once again. Because I don't know if if we're supposed to do the one in Ocarina of Time or the one in Twilight Princess, or not Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword first. So I was just like, what do I do first? So I just went and I believe I do Sealed Grounds first because I think that actually is the right one to do next. And, but again, I could be way off and be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is this one, just judging from the positioning of the timeline. But again, I don't know because the timeline split is a little awkward. Because technically all the missions in the timeline split in terms of the main story happen all at the same time. But again, it's confusing and I hate it, but whatever. The reason I assume this one is first, though, is because the game goes out of its way to explain that Sia got the Triforce and opened up the Gate of Souls and stuff like that. So that, if they were explaining that in the last mission, that really doesn't make any sense. But, yeah. So, yes, Linkle's Tale continues in the Skyward Sword era, and genuinely, I do not really like this mission that much because of the fact that what you're dealing with is basically a horde of mini Imprisoned. And if you remember, I do not like the Imprisoned in this game. And, well, dealing with the small version isn't that bad because you don't have to hit its toes and reveal its weakness for the mini ones. But they are annoying because they have the same exact in terms of attacks, they have the same exact properties. So, like, the red shockwave that the Imprisoned has knocks you back just as much, even in a small form. And it is really annoying. And also, I am using Linkle's second weapon, the Winged Boots. And I already mentioned that I don't really use them that often. And also, I didn't realize this until I went to the bazaar for the first time ever. Because I didn't go to the bazaar during the first mission or this mission, mind you. I didn't realize that I didn't unlock Linkle's combos for her boots. So it will look like I'm using the same few combos. That's because I kind of am. I mean, I do that anyway. But I don't actually have any of Linkle's combos for her boots, which means that I probably don't have her best combo for the boots at all. So I am pretty limited in that regard. I'm also using the weakest version because I'm pretty sure I just unlocked them then. And I haven't started getting the secondary version of the boots. But as I mentioned last part, you get the boots were the DLC for the Link to the Past or not Link to the Past, Link's Awakening pack, which also featured Marin from Link's Awakening. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm surprised. I'm a little surprised they didn't give the boots to Link because it seemed like every DLC or every update for Hyrule Warriors always featured a new weapon for Link in some capacity. And I understand why. I mean, he is the main character of the Zelda series, technically. So it would make sense that he gets the most weapons in the game. But it was kind of like one of those things where it's like, Jesus Christ, someone stop giving this kid weapons. And that was probably the joke, Link has so much shit that he can use that it's just not even funny anymore. But it was just also like there was a clear bias when it came to who got the most weapons, and Link was the winner. But again, it is understandable because he is the main character. Because if you aren't Link, the most weapons people have is like 3, I want to say. Because Impa, she gets the the giant blade, and also the Naginata. Zelda gets her baton and the Dominion Rod as her secondary weapons. Ganondorf just gets the trident. He didn't even get that until Legends. Linkle got the winged boots. Toon Link has a secondary weapon. He has the sand rod, I believe, is what it was, or the... Was it the sand rod? I can't remember. But he has a secondary weapon. I know that. I'm trying to remember who else has a second weapon. Lana, she has the Deku Spear and the Summoning Gate. But yeah, but like that's really not a lot of characters that have secondary weapons, and it is kind of understandable because some of the characters are a little understandable that they don't have secondary weapons. An example is Fi, mainly because I'm looking right at her. Fi, she only has you know, her goddess sword because she is the sword technically, so it would be a little weird that she suddenly has another weapon she can use that wasn't, you know, herself. Same with Ghirahim, I guess, because Ghirahim technically is himself the weapon. And Midna is a similar thing too, where it's her Twilight. It's her hair is the weapon. Though technically, you know, there's Twilight Midna who gets just the Mirror of Twilight, so she has two weapons. But technically, there's two forms of there's two Midna weapons, but one is just considered a different character. In terms of what's going on in this map, basically Linkle stumbled in here during this battle because what Ghirahim's trying to do is summon the Imprisoned, but he's kind of struggling here because he keeps summoning weak versions. What we have to do is we have to take out the ceremonial troops and defeat all of the Imprisoned that they summoned. That's really essentially it, though it does take it. Again, this is one of those missions I'm not a huge fan of because it just takes way too long, or it feels like it does anyway. I don't know what the criteria for getting the gold Skulltula for the hard mode is, because I forgot to read it. I think it was defeat all of the ceremonial troops and controller troops and Imprisoned, and then the Skulltula pops up. I don't even remember if I get it. I don't remember if I get this gold Skulltula or not. We'll find out at the when it happens. But like really, you know, we don't fight the big Imprisoned. I mean, that kind of would be kind of weird considering we technically have to fight it as Link in the mission on the same map when we go to the Skyward Sword timeline. Because this does take place before the this takes place before the Skyward Sword stuff starts for Link in the base game, if I remember correctly. Now my question is, why did no, wait, I think this takes place in between the Sia's Tail mission and the like I think this takes place after the first mission. Or no, because Fi would be here with Link at that point. So it probably takes place right before Link gets to Skyloft, and right after actually, you know what? I'm not even going to try to justify where this goes in the timeline on the mission. Because my assumption is that it has to at least take place after the Sia's Tail mission. But I don't see why Link wouldn't be here with Fi if it's after the first mission in Skyloft. And it can't be taking place at the same time because Fi can't really be in two places at once, to my knowledge. She's never done that before. So I really don't see where in the timeline this would take place. I'm assuming if it did happen, I would need a justification on why Link isn't here. I'm assuming probably because he needed to gather more Hylian troops, I'm assuming. I guess that would make sense, but I don't know. Yeah, but you can tell I clearly don't like the Imprisoned in this mission. But I don't have a choice, I have to fight him. I will say I'm pretty sure I mentioned this back in the original part that the first time I was in this map. I do like this theme. It's called Heart of the End. I really do like this theme. I don't think it's a remix of anything from Skyward Sword. I don't remember. I haven't played Skyward Sword fully in a while, so I really don't remember. Yeah, I still haven't touched Skyward Sword HD yet. Or no, more accurately, I did for like 4 hours, and then I just stopped. The hell? What was that about? I paused the game, and then the screen went black for like a split second, and then I was back in the regular, and then oh well, whatever. No, but if you're wondering why I'm not switching to Fi, it's because she's like level 20 and she's kind of useless right now. No offense to anyone who mains Fi. And by the way, I don't know if I still don't know if I'm pronouncing Fi's name right, because I know some people say Fi and some people say Fi. I'm going by what Hyrule Warriors called it, because the narrator for the mission, for the little excerpts right before the mission starts, says it's Fi. Like, she said Fi, so I'm assuming it is Fi, you know, because that's an official pronunciation by Nintendo. Excuse me, gross. My Mountain Dew is too fizzy. Sweet Jesus, look at all these guys. Oh, they're saying, like, you know, that's just kind of the challenge with a little bit of with some Zelda stuff, is that, especially stuff that isn't voice acted that often, because, you know, you have, you know, people still debate if it's Ocarina or Ocarina, though I'm pretty sure I've gone with Ocarina because Ocarina just sounds right. People still debate if it's Gerudo or Gerudo. I mean, hell, I think the only pronunciation that nobody ever really discusses is Rivali's name from Breath of the Wild, because, you know, since Rivali says his name, it's pretty easy to go, you know, okay, it is Rivali. I mean, fuck that guy, by the way. Fuck Rivali. I don't care what you say. Fucking hate Rivali. It's like, if I had the chance, I'd kick Rivali in the ribs. I don't even know if Rito have ribs, but I'd kick him in the ribs anyway. He deserves it. Prick. Man, if I ever do a Breath of the Wild Let's Play, we both know which of the champions I'm not saving. That, or I'd save him last. It would be like the most half-assed save, too. It's like, just like, imagine, like, at the very end, like, finishing off, what was it, Windblight Ganon, and, like, Rivali pops down and he's like, thanks for the save. You just see me flipping him off the whole time. It's like, you know, Link, you could just be nice and accept the compliment. No, fuck you. Oh, right, this is a problem. So there are controller troops now, which are the Dark Nuts. I forgot what they're called, and I'm going to call them Dark Nuts because I can't remember. I can't remember what they're called in Skyward Sword, and I'm just too tired to care. And but if you let them stay out for too long, they will increase morale for their faction of Imprisoned, making, and if you remember what morale does, excuse me, if you remember what morale does, for both enemies and allies, if it rises, that means they get more powerful. And that's kind of the last thing I need. I'm trying to activate this damn owl statue just in case, but for some reason I was mashing the hell out of the Y button and it wasn't doing it. That's what happens when you have your have it as your interact button is the same button as the attack button. Oh, and by the way, Linkle's main condition for getting defeated in a lot of the missions usually revolve around a golden cuckoo getting killed. So so in this case, if this golden cuckoo that's in the allied base dies, it's game over and you have to start all over. Or if the allied base falls, or if Fi or Linkle die. Just pretty obvious stuff there. Just keep that in mind when playing Linkle's Tale. Linkle's Tale is a little bit easier than Sia's Tale, I'd like to say. In fact, I would say it's probably really, I would say it's significantly easier than Sia's Tale. If anything, I think the hardest campaign would probably have to go to Sia's Tale, just because of just the enemies and the type of crap you have to deal with all at once. While, you know, in this, you know, dealing with the Imprisoned isn't that bad. If this was normal mode, I'd probably be already done with this mission. Maybe, but I chose to play harder mode since, you know, I am technically playing on New Game Plus. So it is a bit of a, you know, that is my own fault for deciding to play on harder mode despite despite not being at a decent level for that. Because I would say, you know, being level 56 isn't, you know, terrible for hard mode, but it's certainly not ideal, because every mission, every difficulty level does have like a ideal level range you want to be in. You know, that's just kind of the general rule with any games like this, especially Muso games. They always have like a general idea, you know, and it's based on player to player, or if you're just trying to be efficient. And in this case, I do believe that the curves were changed around for the definitive edition, but in the original they were pretty easy to remember. Mainly because, you know, the original had different, the original added additional levels that you could go, I'm trying to figure out the way to phrase this. The original changed the level cap throughout the season pass to 255, meaning that, you know, if you played the original and then you managed to get Link to level 255, you know, missions that took place in the original content was a lot easier at level 255 than missions that took place in something like the Majora's Mask pack when the level cap was 255. If that makes sense. All right, so now what's happening is Ghirahim is advancing towards us because, well, we defeated all the Imprisoned and the ceremonial troops, and now he's pissed off. So what's he gonna do? He's just gonna take our base to get revenge. And Linkle's theme kicks in once again. But I'm actually gonna be ignoring Ghirahim because I want to get the I didn't kill all the Imprisoned, but I got a good chunk of them, I guess. But the ceremonial troops, since he can't summon any more Imprisoned, Ghirahim got pissed off. And one thing you may have noticed that I kind of ignored, mainly because the prompt was kind of pointless. It was just a story purpose thing. Apparently, the magic was weak, and it failed. Meaning that the ceremonial troops failed and couldn't summon any more Imprisoned. A fucking moblin hit me from behind, and it would have been able to dwindle the Imprisoned's weak point gauge, but no. And for some reason, I'm deciding to take all the keeps, even though I really don't need to. Because for some reason, I'm guessing I'm probably overthinking that, you know, I'm thinking this is similar to Fire Emblem Warriors, where if you take all the keeps, your morale raises for all of your allies. When no, that's not how it works in this game. That's Fire Emblem Warriors exclusive, which was a nice incentive for Fire Emblem Warriors. I got to give them that. That was a nice incentive to actually take keeps in Fire Emblem Warriors, because instead of just you know, in Hyrule Warriors, you could really, the only incentive really to taking keeps was treasure chests that could be hidden in there. But really, once you found the treasure chest in the mission, or if you knew where the treasure chest was in the first place, you could just go to those keeps where the treasure chests are, and then just not take any more keeps unless the game told you to. Like, yeah, taking keeps makes the game a little bit easier in the long run, but really it's not really worth it in the end, to be honest with you. Now, the only reason I'm going for enemies right now is because I'm just trying to get all of the Imprisoned killed, because I'm trying to see if I can get the Gold Skulltula, even though I feel like I didn't get it, but I don't know. Where am I going? Oh, I'm still going for enemies. And I want to save that brown cuckoo. I was lucky Fi was there. Fi was there. Damn it! I want to say Fi, even though I'm pretty sure it's not right. Oh, I do get the gold Skulltula, even though he's still alive. The hell? I guess that one doesn't count. Or maybe he was dying right when I attacked him. It doesn't matter. There he is. Alright, so now we can finish off Ghirahim. And unlike Link's campaign, Linkle doesn't bitch smack him into the Gate of Souls. As funny as that would have been. Or in this case, drop kick him. That was always that's one of my favorite cutscenes in this game, is when Link just straight up charges at Ghirahim and basically backhands him into the Gate of Souls. It's like one of my favorite moments in the entire game. And it's probably just because of my Skyward Sword prejudice. You know, because of the amount of shit you had to put up with in Skyward Sword because of Ghirahim. You know, it just feels nice that you know, seeing him get pimp slapped like that. Although honestly, the Cuckoo should be doing a lot more damage to Ghirahim than they are, but I get it. You know, it's one of those situations where the boss becomes the playable character and they're weak now. It's bullshit, but it's true. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, there's really only like one instance I can think of where when you play as a boss character, and they're basically more powerful than they were as a boss. And then the only instance I can think of is Virgil from Devil May Cry. Like, yeah, he's nerfed in terms of like, you know, how rapid you could do your abilities, because that's just based on player input. But in terms of like the abilities himself, he doesn't lose any abilities that I can think of. When playing as him. I'm talking, you know, every Devil May Cry game he's in. I know he's not a boss in Devil May Cry 4, so it doesn't count. But Devil May Cry 5 and 3, no, I think he's the best in 5. He's the best character in 5 in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. I mean, then again, my favorite characters to play as in the Devil May Cry series, period, is Virgil and Nero. That's just, you know, I know some people are gonna be like, you don't like playing as Dante? Well, I like playing as Dante in, I know this sounds crazy, the DMC reboot. I actually really like the DMC reboot for Dante. And I do like playing as him somewhat in DMC 5. 3, I don't know why, I just don't like him in 3 that much. Or, I wouldn't say I don't like him, I just... well, 3, if I'm playing on the Nintendo Switch version, where you can switch between all the combat arts, I like playing as him. 4, I'm okay with, but it's just the problem is his weapons are utter garbage in 4, and then 5 is just 5. But, yeah. That's going to do it for this part of Hyrule Warriors. So the next time we meet in Hyrule Warriors, we're going to be continuing on with Linkle's Tale with, I believe, the Twilight Princess map. So see you guys next time, and take care.